Hey, you guys, Mrs. Kirkhoff here. I wanted to talk to you today about article of the week number 4, the psychology of collecting. So let's take a look at the directions at the top of this assignment. So of course, as usual, you're going to plug in your name, the date, and the hour, right? This just kind of gives us a sense of normalcy because if we were back in school, you'd be doing this every single day. So why not? Um, So that's direction number 1. Direction number 2, as you read, use the underline tool in the markup group to underline in red words you either don't know at all or are not confident you know well. So here's markup, and then this is underline. You choose red. I had some students who were kind of struggling with this, and so when you're reading through this article, I'd say that the vocabulary is a bit more advanced, so it should be more challenging. But think of it this way, like if I were to give a vocabulary quiz over a certain word, would you be able to ace that quiz? No questions asked, no studying, you are 100% confident. If you're not, if you're like, ooh, I would, probably have to look up the word or study it a little bit, or I'm not even sure what that means, just underline it. It literally takes 2 seconds to just highlight the word and boom, it's underlined. So when I read through your article and I look at your assignment, I'm going to be looking for words that are underlined in red. So please do not skip that step. Um, Otherwise, I will mark you down. Okay? Number 3, as you read, follow the instructions we've embedded throughout the article. So for most of these, you'll see a little comment from me on the side that you'll respond to in the text box. And then number 4, after you've read the entire article, complete the tasks we've included at the end. So let's scroll down here. Why do we want this stuff 8 views? So as normal, the paragraphs are numbered on the side here. And then there's a few phrases in the article that are underlined with corresponding comments that you have to respond to. Or after a chunk of text, there is a larger additional question. So let's take a look at a couple of these just to give you an idea of what's going on here. So number 4, pioneering psychologist Carl Jung. So that's highlighted. If I look over here, there's a question that goes with it. What does it mean that Carl Jung was a pioneering psychologist? Use complete sentences. So you would just type in here your answer. I think that a pioneering psychologist means that, and you would describe your answer. So please make sure you restate and you use a complete sentence. Let's take a look at this one. After reading paragraph 4, click in the comment linked to the sentence and respond to the comment. So that's over here. Explain how collecting may have given an evolutionary advantage to primitive humans. Use complete sentences. So if you're like, oh, I'm not sure what that means, maybe look back through these 4 paragraphs, skim through it if necessary, and see if you can answer that question. In the next section, consumerism, consumer culture is highlighted, and there's a question that corresponds to it here. So please make sure that you answer this question. And then after this section, please go over here and answer the question that corresponds with the consumerism section. And then same thing here, their inevitable demise. Please make sure you answer the question that corresponds with that. Please make sure you answer the corresponding question here. And you get the idea, right? So there's 8 of these on the side total. And then as you're reading, you are underlining vocabulary words that you're not 100% sure on. Like if I were to give you a quiz, you would have to study that word or look it up. So if I scroll down here to the bottom, this is your next task. According to the article, collecting behavior peaks at around age 10, with nearly all children having some type of collection. With this claim in mind, use the text box tool to make a text box beneath the following prompts and respond to one prompt with 4 to 5 well-written sentences. So you're just picking one of these bullet points to write about, and to create your text box, you will go here. I'd say please change the font color so that it's not blue. So red would work, purple, orange, or you can pick from the color palette here. So the first prompt, did you collect anything as a child? If so, do you still have the collection or at least parts of it? What was the most prized item in the collection? Option 2, is there any childhood collection you wish you could have accumulated? Why? Or option 3, if money was not a factor, what would you collect today? So you'll respond to this in the text box. So when you're thinking about which of these prompts that you would like to collect, if nothing is coming to mind on a collection of your own, like for option 1, please don't pick that one. Like if you weren't really a big collector or you had a huge variety of interests and you weren't just kind of zeroed in on one thing, don't pick that one. So I don't want to read a response that says, as a child, I didn't collect anything. I didn't own a bunch of one thing. The end. Like that's not interesting to read, right? So maybe you should pick one of the other ones. If you don't have a collection that pops out in your mind, then don't pick that one. Option B, that one gives you a lot of flexibility, right? A childhood collection you wish you could have accumulated. That one, it doesn't have to be something that actually happened, but like, oh, as a kid, did you really want, all of these certain types of toys and it just maybe you had one or two and that was it, and you wanted more? Like, explain that to me, talk to me about it. And then, of course, option 3, if money weren't a factor, what would you collect today? So that opens up a ton of possibilities. So just make sure whichever prompt that you choose to write about, you really go into detail and you explain what you would like to collect. Also, for the first time, there is an extra credit option on this assignment. So let's take a look at that. Earn bonus points by using the text box tool below. So that is right over here. To define up to 4 terms from the article that you underlined as unfamiliar to you. So if you're going through and you're doing the underlining in red, like I asked you to do, pick 4 of them and define them. Drop that in a text box here. If you didn't underline any words, we would like you to reconsider the terms below. The definition you use must make sense for the term in the context in which it is used in the article. So you could also take this list of words here, right? These were all in the article, and you could define them as your extra credit option. So this is a great opportunity for you guys to boost up your grade a little bit. If you have any questions about the assignment, please make sure you drop in on the Zoom session. You can email me or call me during office hours. I hope you have a great week and go Bears.